was a little bit more candid on the Real Life Productions platform, where he really told the full story. Now, the part of his story that really became compelling, because he did a part, they did like a 4-hour interview, and I want you guys to check out Real Life Street Stars to really get this story, because it's a very compelling story of a young man that is really brought up in like a really good neighborhood, right? But still ends up being influenced to rob banks from the prison system. Because one thing that we find out about the prison system is you learn how to be a better criminal in that situation. The situation that happened is that he K'd his friend, okay? ILLED, his friend, given a gun, a GUN from someone, and they were getting into it, and he happened to shoot him, and his friend passed away, right? So he ended up doing time for that crime, and he was charged as a young man as an adult. He went to an adult prison, and in that prison, he met some Black Panthers who, at that point, then showed him how to become a bank robber. He was being groomed to be a bank robber. So time goes on, he gets out, and guess what he starts doing? He starts robbing banks because he feels like he's doing it for the culture of everything, right? Now, there's another part that happens where it's another person that gets brought into the situation, and his name is Vernon, right? Now, Vernon is another person, like they're from the suburbs. They're not raised bad. They're like, you know what I'm saying? They just happen to be getting into some stuff. He runs into Baba Shaka, and Baba Shaka's robbing banks at the time. Vern has, things he wants to prove in the hood. He feels like people are like, they're looking at him like he's a punk, right? So therefore he begins to tag along with Baba Shaka in doing these bank robberies. And so within that whole situation, because I want you guys to see the whole video on Real Life Street Stars, he gets wrapped up into an entire situation. And
but before you I mean cut you, I'm sorry. Just show a glimpse. You don't have to show the video, but just show a glimpse of ours first so they can see that this is where it started from. If you could pull it, you don't have to show the video, just show out. There we go. Right. So this is where it started with this beautiful interview right here. Because people watch stuff, they don't know, like a lot of times DJ starts it off. It just gets bigger other places, but this is the starting point. Right.
right, sorry, I was playing while you were talking. Say it again.
Girl, I said, I ain't messing with you. I said that a lot of times people see a lot of interviews, and I'm glad you're showing this. A lot of times people don't know this is the starting point, that they started here. Then they went on the other place. They may be a bigger platform or whatever, but they start here. So you see where we started it first, her interviewing Baba Shaka, right? So even though she mentioned it, I just wanted her, before she show it, just put, you could see the young man in her face there. So y'all can see we had the interview first.
So let me go a little bit further. Let me back up a little bit. So let's go.
We can't hear nothing, DJ. There was no sound.
To be shampoo bottle, and they have the feces and man, you know, they took us through some shit. I mean, for me to be young, I really experienced. Now that I look at it, and when I look back at it, I understand a lot. I understand a lot, which we're going to be talking about things that's not real versus things that's real, and you know, and people, what they talk. What's the word? Sensationalizing, you know, revolutionaries and these things. But anyway, yeah, I end up going to one of the worst parts of the prison, which is Camp J. So I was in Camp J for.
Is that considered like the hole or something like that?
Yeah, that's the worst of the holes. There's so many different layers of the hole, but Camp J is the bottom of the pit. The bottom of the pit. That's where you have most of all the people that's back there that's killed guards, kill inmates, rape inmates. You know, they've done some of the most horrific things. You know, so when you go back there, you know, all you smell is feces because that's what they war with. They make zip guns. They make they make guns, and they war with feces by throwing feces out the gate, out of the cell, onto inmates or onto guards and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
So that's like mental illness, right? Do you think that the reason why they would do that is because of mental illness, because they've been in
definitely
there so long?
they couldn't cope. They couldn't cope with the you know, just being. They couldn't cope with being on the compound, which is on the main yard. They call it the big yard, main yard, whatever. But they couldn't cope, and they just lost it. And being in those cells, some of those guys have been in that back there like 20 years. They had two famous guys.
Wait, in the hole for 20 years straight, or just back and forth?
No, in a hole 20 years straight. They had some people been down 20 years straight. They had some guys who had been back there who been back there. Can
you explain the conditions of the hole? Because I'm like, everybody don't know what the hole really is.
The hole would be the size of your bathroom. Just imagine being in I'm talking not the new bathrooms with the garden tub and the two sinks. No, I'm talking about the old bathrooms where you have a toilet. You have a toilet and just a little bed on the side. It's kind of like what you see in some of the old movies of what prison was. Like you see the prisons of Alcatraz, and you see those old cells like Shawshank Redemption. That would be the hole.
So is there like light coming through there, or just zero sunlight?
They have a light in the hallway that may work or may not work. I actually learned how to type. I got my mother sent me a typewriter. I learned how to type under those conditions. But they had a lot of people that weren't going with the whole, you know, get along thing and I'm going to go work in the field that was back there. But, you know, from being back there, a lot of people were mentally gone. You know, I seen one man, I learned how to play chess in the hole. I had a guy who was in a cell next to me. Now we lock down 24 hours a day. You don't go to a kitchen, everything. You just in this one spot. So this one guy, he was like a lawyer or whatever, and he had been back there like 10 years, and he was good at law work. So he the one who told me about getting a typewriter. You know, I taught myself how to type. He taught me how to play chess back there. You know, and we play chess by numbers and letters because there's no contact. The only contact there is when you have an hour out for shower. When you come out of your cell to walk up, there's maybe 15 cells on a range, and you have to walk up the hallway to go up to the shower. Controlled, you know, so you know you're gonna do what master say do, or you're gonna end up back there with a shit throwing and the darts and talking to yourself and all that type of stuff.
Have you heard of like the melonics? You ever heard of these people called the? You said you were talking about the guys and about how they should do this, that, the other, and you were
Yeah,
like,
and they looked at me and they said, bruh, them white folks gonna put you up under the jail. Can you imagine that? Now they're plotting to kidnap a child, kidnap a girlfriend.
anything could go wrong, right?
They're plotting to do this, but I'm telling them about a bank, and they're saying the white man is gonna put me up under the jail. This is what I'm talking about being controlled.
Right. So this was the first interview that I did with Baba Shaka, and Joker saw it, and he said, "You know what? I want to interview him." And so he ended up. It took him some time, but he eventually ended up on the Real Life Street Stars. And in this interview, he brought his friend Vern. Now, it was now understood that Vernon Miller, actually helped him with some of these bank robberies that he learned how to do in prison through the Black Panther Party of a person that was actually in prison as a Black Panther and was teaching the young guys how to rob banks. Okay. So he gets out, he begins his bank robbery career, right? So then there's a guy named Vern. So let's get into the story where Vern comes into the picture. So
19 banks.
19. It's
Were
just addictive. It's very, very addictive.
Shit, man. How often? Like once every.
Well, it depends on how it depends on how irresponsible I was.
Okay, so summers you might have turned up during the summer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on how you flexing.
Okay.
You got a concert coming. You want to get the 24 passenger, double axle limo.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If you flexing, you're responsible.
We're gonna get to the lifestyle of it.
Okay.
But with that being said, what was your locations? Were you mostly Louisiana?
Houston, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona. Louisiana was a no because of Angola.
Yeah, correct.
We did hit a bank and the dot went off and I was like, nah, we're going to Texas.
All right. Now when you say we, all right, let's go and do it. Let's make sure he's on. Let's get him on. We are about to bring in my man Vernon. And Vernon, did you have a nickname you went by before we even introduced you? Just Vernon. God damn it.
Man. I didn't get nicknames. I went to prison.
So wait. And Vernon, if you don't mind, for those who have seen you, introduce yourself real quick.
My name is Vernon. I did 25 years in prison for bank robbery.
All right.
4 bank robbery. Well, I was actually charged for 3, but the 4th one, which was the first one in Shreveport, they wrapped that inside the conspiracy camp. So
Okay.
I was charged for it, but not charged for it, basically.
So you did 4 in your lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
This man did. I can't even count. So
The very first one I robbed was with him.
okay.
And we had a driver. And then I did another one by myself with the same driver. And I did the 3rd one with him with the same driver. And then the 4th one I did by myself with the same driver.
All right, so stay right there. We're gonna put a face to the name. Yeah.
So yeah. How did I pick them?
Yeah, and let me ask you, as you got to speak, as you know, Vernon is a name, and at the time you were going by E.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all didn't use nicknames. Blue, Yellow,
Nah.
Mr. Pink.
No.
No, because when we went in the banks, we didn't talk.
Okay,
we already talked about everything we could
So
possibly
you didn't get nobody's attention. Like
Nope.
y'all just okay. All right.
I knew what my job was when I went in the bank, and that was just
We
I'm a
did
soldier.
practice runs on
Fast food places.
fast food restaurants.
That's what
I hit 3 fast food restaurants within an hour.
What are you like a Bojangles or something with you?
Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried
KFC,
Chicken,
and I'm basically showing how
In
easy
an
it is.
hour.
An hour.
Now I was at home. Now when him and the other guy named was Larry, when they came home and they started telling me about that, I was like, well, goddamn. All right.
Yeah, we pouring out the money. Like I see, I'm telling him, like, man, see how easy this shit is, man. Base man, shit is. I told him, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm like, well, fuck it. I want in too. Yeah.
So I just want to get your mindset real quick. You need some paper. You're like, oh, I'm trying to get something, do something tonight.
Mhm.
You just go rob.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember a concert in Houston when R. Kelly was coming to Houston, and I was like, oh shit, I'm finna go to the Versace boutique in the Galleria, pay by $5, for me to Versace, then I'm gonna get the limo, I got some of the strippers that I knew, like, hey man, look, this is how we flexing. So now I spent, I done went through a whole bunch of money because I'm getting them money. I'm buying the bar. I'm up in Atlanta, Magic City. I'm hanging with I ain't gonna say their names, but it was during the time of the Atlanta Falcons, right? So when I got this money, look, when I got this money, right, I'm able to go to the bar and buy the bar. So anywhere you at, and you got the money to buy the bar, these celebrities they gravitate to you.
Are you a good looking strapping young man back then? Like, man, I'm already looking fly as fuck.
Yeah, most definitely.
The ladies, they
Yeah, most definitely. Then
you buy the bar, my nigga. It's like
you buy the bar. You buy the bar. So now you got NFL players in Atlanta. They peep it because the DJ saying, man, somebody just bought the bar. I'm standing at the bar, like, hey man, I'll give it. You know what I'm saying? So they coming over to me like, man, what's up, man? Where you from? So now you meeting people.
What do you tell people you do?
I never had to tell nobody what I did.
One asked?
No, they didn't ask. They
smart. It's too much money. Whatever.
Yeah, they would say, man, follow us, man. So they would say, follow us. I might be in Houston, and like I say, they're gonna watch this, so I ain't gonna say their names. But everybody watch this. But I'm in Houston, and I'm at Jamaica back in the day when they had Jamaica. And they be like, man, follow us. I said, what a party at? And I end up going out to a mansion, and it's a big old party.
Does your mom know what you do?
Not at this time, she didn't.
But you was just taking care of everything.
Yeah, she didn't.
Ask no questions or nothing.
Yeah, well, she didn't really know what.
So let me say this, right? Baba Shaka got a lot of flack from the real life street stars. Once Vern told his story, people were not for Baba Shaka because he was the influence. He was the influence behind Vern. And I want you to see the whole interview from Vern. We're just going to focus on what happened to him once what happened is that he ended up going to prison and he did not rat on Baba Shaka. Let's get further into it.
What was going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She knew I was popping up with new cars and stuff like that. I think she probably thought I sold drugs or something like that,
What's the craziest car you had? That many, huh?
And then we get out. I know security guard. Banks. So I need some help. Now, mind you, all my homies that was banging, they already told me, they laughed at me and told me that, nigga, is you crazy?
But you're telling them though what you do though.
Yeah, I'm telling them, I'm not telling them that I'm robbed. Yeah, yeah.
Rat or something.
Yeah, so but they was like, man, them white folks gonna put you up under jail. Now they back to the conversation, say, man, we're gonna knock on the door when his girl come, you just grab a girl, you hold up, put the gun up, he gonna open the safe up. I'm like, dog, why y'all doing all that, man? We just go to the bank, they ain't got no security guard. Why y'all finna do that? You know what I'm saying? And they just always thought I was crazy. Like,
why do you think back then black men would rob from their own versus go get it from?
We program. It's all about being programmed. We are still programmed to this day. We're programmed to do certain things. We're programmed to
destroy ourselves though, like to destroy each other.
You ever heard of the Willie Lynch?
I'm about to say the Willie Lynch.
It's in effect today. I heard Charles White talking about it. He was on point.
Yeah,
he's always on point, but he was on point.
So you're trying to recruit people, and they're just not with it.
They ain't with it. So they thorough. They were thoroughbreds, but they just programmed to lead on white folks shit alone. That's just the way it is, bro. It's just it is all over. This is all over. It's all over.
When he brought it to Larry was thirsty. He was greedy, so that's why Larry took to it.
He come from because he's gonna see this story. But he come from a greedy family. They were shoplifters. Mama was a shoplifter.
Kleptomaniac type.
Yeah. So it was easy to sell to him. But the smart thing about him was he stayed a driver.
Mm.
See,
when he stay a driver, you made him stay a driver.
No, he chose to be the driver, and he said, "I got somebody else." I said, "Man, you know that." And I seen him. I was like, "Man, he was in the military. He went to Grambling. He didn't go to college." And I'm like, then I thought about it. I was like, "Well, you know what? You can't
from the streets either.
You can kind of control them a little bit. I'm thinking you can kind of control them a little bit.
Let me ask you, did you feel like you needed a driver?
Yeah, because mind you, I'm trying to hit the vote. I'm trying to get in the vote.
So it was kind of a praying situation, He knew that this guy was not necessarily, what I'm saying? He kind of like knew, what I'm saying? So he had like some narcissistic traits in who he chose, what I'm saying? And that's what kind of got people up in arms about, man, this guy Baba Shaka, whatever. But I'm gonna say this. Go ahead, Sugar Love.
No, I'm listening. I'm just listening. I'm gonna say when you finish.
People kind of went after Baba Shaka, but really Baba Shaka was the one that got him to tell his story because he didn't even know what really had happened to him when he got raped in prison. I don't think he knew at the time how it went down, and so he felt like he owed him. You know what I'm saying? At
Right.
least, you know what I'm saying? So Baba Shaka's not here trying to victimize him again, but people took it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, he's here because of the story is so salacious. You know what I'm saying? When you hear it.
But it's true. And this is what happens to a lot of men in jail. So I'm glad that it is being brought to light because people think going to jail, especially as young kids, think going to jail is a badge of honor. Think it's going to be like easy breezy street, and it means they're rough and tough and they, you know. So I'm glad. I'm really glad this man is telling these, both of them tell their stories actually.
Yeah, because they both ended up in prison for like, I mean, decades. You hear me?
Mhm.
Baba Shaka has a gray beard. He spent the majority of his life in prison. This young man spent 25 years. Baba Shaka, I think 22. But before that, about 10 years more, like almost 30 years in prison. So, and the reason why I thought it was like important to even show this, even though I had interviewed Baba Shaka some more, is because his story, the story with him and Vern, it brought so much clarity because I did one side of the story and I was focused on what happened in prison, but this is actually what happened that got them into prison. So here we go.
So I need it's gonna be two people gonna go in. I need you to be able to watch everybody while I'll be able to hit the desks and go in the back. And then when we get out, you know, we have a driver. Now, to answer your question, we really didn't need a driver. However, I went to the other guy. So he already part of the lick. But he's scary and he got his minion.
Yeah.
He got him
Yeah.
to be able to say, I got a man for you. I'm gonna do the driving. But all the while,
You gotta split it though. Like,
So why is this important, Sugar Love? I'm gonna let you go. Because you work with children, you work with kids, you work with the youth. Why is this important?
This is like I said before, and she's late for class. Why, pretty crystal clear? Please come early to class, please, because you have a lot of young children that is in these streets, and they think that prison is a badge of honor. They want to gain their stripes because they have no idea what really happens to them when they go to jail or what can happen to them. That is the purpose of anybody telling their stories, is to maybe help save somebody. That would be the purpose, right?
And on
Maybe-
top of that, these were not thugs. These were not like single parent household. These were people that was
Mhm.
raised in 2-parent household, living in Shreveport, living in the good side of town, and they still got caught up. Baba Shaka got a gun, right? And shot his friend's face off by mistake and ended up in prison and then learned how to be a bank robber by being groomed from an older man in prison. So here's the thing is that you can go to prison and you could be having one sentence and then someone can influence you to do something else because people learn not only they don't get rehabilitated through prison, they learn how to be a better criminal in prison. That is why we're showing this, okay? Thank you. This brings awareness. That's why this is important. And I'm hoping that some young kids see this. Because a lot of my daughter's followers, they might be kids, whatever. Maybe they'll click on this and see something. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it might be teenagers watching my daughter dance, and maybe they'll click on this and learn something. So that's what this is really about.
like
Yeah, we weren't tripping on
greedy. Let me ask
we
you,
weren't tripping on we was never tripping on spending money, right?
Okay, all right. So you weren't moving off of greed.
Yeah, we went, but then we used to do dumb shit like bets. You remember those bets? We had like a.
Oh, y'all bought the paper up and throw
We
the
had-
trash for
Listen, one time we made a bet. You remember time who could piss the furthest?
Yeah.
We like who could
piss the
we remember that?
first.
Yeah, we
Who
did.
could drink the fastest?
Yeah, we
who
might
could
have.
get
We
in,
might
Y'all
have
throw money away.
10,000.
who win a domino game,
paid
and
the
just shoot dice.
So y'all playing with the bank money. Like this, look, it's crazy because drug money, and I'm not saying it's easier to get, but when you got bank, I'm thinking like we watch movies. You rob a bank, dude, you can't spend this money for 6 months.
Nah,
Y'all, you gotta act
we
regular.
left Dallas. We left Dallas. We left Dallas. Went to the mall.
You go shopping. You don't
Yeah.
go put it in the bank.
Yeah, you don't.
No, so
Nah, we put it in the bank.
so wait,
Other things with it.
Yeah.
we just had
You go buy liquor.
we just had a Freeway Rick Ross up here 2 days ago,
I know, Rick.
and Rick Ross said he chose to stay low key, getting that much money.
Mm-hmm.
But as bank robbers, y'all like, let's go with cash on you. Let's go spend it. Get rid of it.
And the
When
reason
you're in the hood, you buying liquor, you buying weed, you buying clothes.
He Versace down. He's R. Kelly
low-key.
concept.
But once we robbed the bank, he went his way, we went our way.
because they was a different, you know, they were school boys. I'm already on some different, shit, you know, and they was
We
good
might have
dudes.
hung out
But you-
here and there, but
Like you buying bars, living lavish. Isn't that a red flag to like the laws may look my way?
Nah, because I'm in a spot where I'm in the spots where Deion Sanders and I'm in a spot where Andre Rison and Left Eye. You know what I'm saying?
Where the money is. The
Yeah, I'm
money's
right
already
there in
given.
Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta back in the day. You know, Freak Neek, Jack the Rapper,
I like how you
convention.
said Left Eye and Andre Rison. So you was around when the house got.
Yeah. I moved from we hit a lick. we hit a lick here in Dallas, and we was on 20, and I was in the back seat, and I had the big old bag. You remember that? We was in the Acura. We was in the Acura Legend, and I had the big trash bag just full of money. It was about this big,
Ooh.
and
150. No, it was 84,000.
yeah.
84,000.
So
He said that what they counted. The Fed said it was.
Yeah, what denomination of bills are y'all?
20s,
Everything.
50s,
Everything.
the ones because we getting I'm cleaning them out.
Man, the bank got more than 84,000 in there.
No, on this particular bank.
That was 84.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, this was a bank.
I mean, I've hit one for about 34,000, but it was a small credit union.
Oh, it's 94. The money, yeah, I'm gonna have to get money. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. For a day. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money with that.
But that's why we keep on doing it though.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about it. This is why we keep on.
At 20 years old, I wasn't thinking about no house. I was thinking about
Yeah, but we leaving Dallas, and I'm in the back seat, and I'm saying, man, I'm telling them, stay with the speed limit, bro. You're driving. Stay with the speed limit. Don't swerve, bro. We got to make it all the way back to Shreveport. But I'm praying too. I'm praying like, God, if you let us get back to Shreveport, I ain't doing it no more.
You found religion
I
right
say,
then.
remember, every bank is your last bank, right? But by the time we go, we got the money spread it out. You know what I'm saying? We done went through the money, make sure there was no die or no monitors. We're gonna throw them out. You know what I'm saying? And so what I did was I moved to Atlanta because I wanted a new start. You know, and then
This was the
get
fresh start.
yeah, but then when I get there, you know, I go out there with 40 grand. I leave them.
Right.
I left them, but they
You
kept.
tell them what you're doing. Like, hey, I'm
No. I went on my way. Didn't even tell them I was going with
we
them.
had some other shit going on.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
At this point, between the third and the fourth robbery, greed started to take a hold of.
We had other people watching. They had people watching them
Yeah,
that was thugging, and they like, man, hold on, where are these
Oh,
with all this
God.
money?
Yeah, we had other shit going on.
Yeah, why they coming up? How they coming up with this
You
money?
felt that? You saw that with what's going
Yeah,
on
I
there?
saw
So you
it.
chose to like let me lead this.
Yeah, well, the other people
Some of
started
it was,
influence.
some of it was directed towards him.
Yeah, they want to try to rob. The other dudes want to try to rob me through the driver.
To us.
You see what I'm saying? Like, man, that nigga got, man, they ain't gonna rob them, they gonna rob me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I say, you know what, man, I'm finna go to the A, man. I'd already said I wasn't gonna rob a bank no more. So I moved to the A. You know what I'm saying? And once I got to the A, it was a whole different ball game from being in Shreveport. You know what I'm saying? For his clubs, for his my dress attire, my attire changed from, you know, rugby polo or, you know, some heel finger. It changed into linen. You know what I'm saying? It changed the open-toe Morris sandals. It changed the Versace. You know, but I mean, but like I said, I'm crying inside though, because I'm not happy.
Now I want to ask you because I heard you say that earlier. Like you have all this money, but you're not happy. Is it because of the type of money you have? Because
No, it's just that it was like this, bro. I had no real friends.
Right.
Nobody to trust. I had left them, so I'm solo dolo. you know, and everybody that I met, they dealt with me because I had money. It's evident, you know, because if you're an NFL.
Well, shouts out Angela Reddick. Hey, at Sugar Love, I received my care package this morning. When my home care aid comes on Saturday, I will make a short unboxing video. Shouts out to Angela Reddick. She got her care package from Sugar Love. Congratulations, Angela.
Player, you only dealing with me because I just bought the bar. You telling me about the next party, we're going to your house, you know, I'm going to swinger parties, I'm doing all this, but I'm only invited because I got money. So nobody that you meet is going to be genuine. You see what I'm saying? Now, the only person going to be genuine is the bartender that you just gave $2,500 because you're like, man, I don't want you working, just talk to me. Let's just talk. I ain't tricking. I know, you know, I ain't perverted out the game. You dig what I'm saying? Now, because I gave her $2,500, she want to be friends. Yeah. Where you going? Wait, what hotel you in? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, then she put me up on other things, and my lick is I'm dealing with. So now I'm dealing with scamming. I'm dealing with, you know, I'm meeting Africans. I'm meeting.
Oh,
there's a whole.
Nah, for real. Now keep going.
You see what I'm saying? Because you know, you got money, you gonna meet other people that make money. It's all about being in the right place with money. You see what I'm saying? So now she's telling me about some licks, and I'm like, man, I'm with that. I'm with that too. Because I'm, you know, hey, look, I would like to watch my money too. So can I do that? Can you do that?
So I just want to ask, having a lot of money, you wasn't feeling well. So what's the inverse of that? Not having all that paper to play with.
Well, because that's gonna speed me on up to the present. Okay.
So let me ask you, this is for you too, brother.
Okay.
For the licks that y'all hit for the banks, what is an amount of money? Because I know every time it's like, oh, I'm gonna get to the. Every time it's gonna be like, I'm gonna get to the next bank, but technically everyone is the last one, at least as you stated.
Mm-hmm.
For you, Baba, and for you, Vernon, what is an amount of money that you were hoping to hopefully walk away with that would have retired you? That you know, knowing what you know now.
$1 million.
$1 million?
$1 million.
Vernon.
You ain't gonna believe this, but I didn't do it for the money.
What? All right, we're gonna get to your.
Yeah, he.
Wait a minute. It's the thrill of the chase. Wait a minute. All right. So,
you know what, man? I'm glad you asked that question because I used to always say to myself, man, I'm not gonna stop. I was chasing a meal ticket. I said, I'm either gonna die, or I'm gonna go to jail. That's the only thing gonna stop me. I didn't give myself a way out. I spoke it into existence. I manifest at basically going to prison. I'm kind of glad I went to prison because I changed. I changed my life. I changed my life.
Outlaw.
But for the most part, what was I saying?
No, you're saying you're either gonna die or go to prison.
Yeah. So
there was no.
So you basically don't live. I wasn't giving myself a way out.
Yeah.
I'm saying if I want $1 million, I want a meal ticket.
So you ain't talking about like, let me leave. I'm gonna leave the.
So let's talk about this. You have one person that's doing it for the money, and the other person that's not. He's just doing it for the clout, or I'm not sure. Like, right? He just felt like he was bullied, you know, earlier on, and he just want to be accepted. That's the story.
Country one day, go live in Mexico, buy a hut.
Didn't start doing that till recently. Just came back from Africa, Cape Town.
Yeah. Can you tell me about, and shout out going to Africa for that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all both mentioned the story of where the money was laced with the color dye.
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all explain that story? Like, did y'all know about that beforehand, like about dyes? But y'all learned on the job.
Mm-hmm.
We learned
on the job training.
Yeah, take us through that, because it's like you see movies and oh shit.
You want to tell the story? Go ahead.
So when we went in the first bank, and I jumped over the counter. I had the bag to put out. He did all the talking. I'm just collecting the money.
So I like I said, if I'm in the room, I got the Mossberg pump.
Mossberg is the one.
I got the Mossberg. You know, you get surgical with that thing.
With that thing, Jay.
So I'm standing in the middle and I'm watching everything. I'm telling him, go, and he boom, 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 boom. Let's go. And because he got the same bag, he didn't mess around and got a wad that had the red dye. Once the red dye busted the bag,
once it hit outside, that temperature changes that chemical thing.
Oh, that's what
makes it pop.
Temperature change.
Yeah.
Let me ask real quick. I don't want to shout out the name of the company, but what y'all use, like Hefty? As far as bags, like, I'm just curious. Like,
I don't know.
Can
You
he get
probably got
approved?
heavy duty.
Heavy duty?
Because you got to go in. When you go in, you got to have something folded. You can't be seen walking bag. You know, so
Okay,
Now, just to kind of clarify what he was saying about what he wore, in that first robbery that I was with, we had on stocking masks.
yeah, we had
Like just
something.
regular pantyhose.
But somebody he knew recognized him. That's why we stopped using stocking masks.
Yeah, it was
Vernon, you got a
a
recognizable face.
a
on
girl. No, it was a girl that I was dating at the time.
Yeah,
And
she
she
seen that show on
she
news.
knew it was on the 5 o'clock news.
yeah.
And so because she knew what I was involved in, and she saw it on the news, she paged me because we had pages then.
Mhm.
And so then when I called her, she said, "What did you do today?" And I was like, "Nothing." She said, "Because me and my brother," she said his name. She said, "Me and my brother, we was sitting there watching the 5 o'clock news, and we saw you jumping over the counter." Hold that thought. Let me call you back. Hey, look, y'all, we ain't doing sales in Shreveport
Yeah.
no more.
No man.
Laughing out loud.
She didn't.
Now I want to
Oh,
say this.
yeah.
I want to say something right quick. I just thought about something. We laughing about this now because we didn't change our life. We in Texas,
Yes.
and the DA and the special agents, the FBI agents, they still here in the city. They're gonna see this. We just basically just reminiscing.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
this
saying?
is not to make it sound like
Yeah,
this-
we definitely don't.
We do
Now I'm not glorifying it because it's irrational thinking
Right.
to do some shit like that.
And
But
you have to learn from mistakes you made to move
Yeah.
forward in life. And I'm
Yeah.
glad. And
Yeah.
mind you, even as we're having this conversation, this is not to encourage other
Exactly.
people
No,
to
definitely not.
yeah,
to
yeah, we
take this path.
we definitely trying to sell our story. We trying to sell our story. So, but I just had to say that because we are in, and they will get this. They will get this and be like,
Wait.
This nigga got a Range Rover. Them niggas back together.
Yeah, wait, they plot,
You see what I'm saying? We smiling, and they don't like that.
They don't
But
like that.
it's like, man, the man did 25 years. I did, decks of time, bro.
But
And-
hold on. He'll be honest with you. Behind these smiles, that is still a small fear factor because we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Because of things that I was associated with my other friend, my other guy, that I feel like he would associate me with that. I still have a fear that because I knew that he had killed his friend, that I still have that fear like, oh my God, he's still gonna do something to me.
yeah.
It's possible.
But so it was hard for us to get here, right? Remember, it's been you've been trying to get me for about almost a year. So, but when we linked up, he was like, "Man, you ain't gonna take me to Texas and kill me, are you?" I'm like, "Come on, man." I'm like, "Come on, man, nah, man." I said, "Bro, nah," but I'm basically telling him like, "Man,
I share my location with 2-3 people, man. Make sure they know. Hey, look, I'm going to Dallas. Y'all make sure y'all keep track of me. Just in case Aaron decides to do
But I
something.
feel like I told him I feel like I owe him with his testimony. I feel I owe you, bro, and I'm gonna get our story told. You see what I'm saying?
Was Dallas one of y'all's spots that y'all hit?
Yeah, it was big.
Actually, the credit union that I robbed
was in Mesquite.
twice. It was the same credit union.
Yeah, he robbed
It was in
there.
Mesquite.
You brought the same one to me.
Yeah, so did.
We had,
So you're not supposed to go back to the scene of the crime.
hey,
It was
man,
that easy?
it's a story.
Okay, but we'll get to it.
It's a story. Remember, all this was encompassed in like a 9-month span.
Okay,
So
before- Yeah,
now, my involvement, I don't know about his before, after me, but mine, once he came in, or a little bit before him and a little bit after him, was all a 9-month span from
Vernon, in that 9-month span of a year, how much money did you see? Just real quick.
between the banks and the fast food places.
about 200,000.
Yeah, about that.
How much?
200,000.
200. Because in the banks alone, the feds calculated 154,000.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Nah.
But remember, 94. And
That's
hold on.
No. Even doctors got paid that back then.
Hold on. Talking
That's
about
not
in 94 at 20 years old.
At 20 years, but doctors got paid that.
At 20 years old, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You got mind.
Arnold Schwarzenegger got paid more.
At 20, where you worked at?
I was working at like a Mexican restaurant. I working at a Mexican restaurant. I actually worked 2 Mexicans. I worked at Taco Bell and in another Mexican restaurant.
So now you got dudes selling drugs. They selling drugs to get an Aqua Legend, get it painted, get the wet paint on it, and get some Dayton's. Because back then we rode Dayton's in Shreveport. We used to ride Dayton's. So he looking at minimum wage to
Rex. Yeah.
we split it up. He got 40, I got 40, and the driver got 40.
Okay, if I had a 200K in the bag right now, you say what we need to do to get that bag.
Let me see why I say it, because I just seen a documentary, right? I'm watching like Vince McMahon.
Again, so let's get into this, right? So you have like a person that normally ain't used to having that much money, is in his early 20s, is able to walk into a bank and walk right back out and have way more money, 40K, that he ever experienced before in his life. And of course, that would be addictive, right? Because money is addictive, right? So that's exactly what they were dealing with as an addiction to fast money.
Man, WWE, and they're talking about like the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, their contracts,
Mhm.
and it was like 80,000 for a year. This is back in the same time, 90,000 for a year. So I'm like, it's a lot of money for a Taco Bell worker, but it's still not enough.
You mean
Well,
like
to
you
risk
got
my
the risk
life,
factor,
to-
the risk
to-
factor.
And you're right. You're exactly right. To risk my life, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
How much
But
money do you
you
need
know
to
what?
risk
When
your life,
I
though?
went
Now it's nothing.
when I went to prison, my mom used to come visit me, and she say, "It was it worth it?" The first 5 years, I was like, "Hell yeah," because I was able to
See,
move.
I was
You know
the
what I'm
opposite. I was like, hell no.
Yeah, I was like, because I'm moving with celebrities, I'm moving, doing my thing. But then out of 10 years being in the maximum security with the misery and the bloody Beaumont and the deaths, I was like, man, hell no, this was not worth it at all, bro.
Do you think that you could still get away with robbing a bank to this day?
No.
It's not even the technology. It's not. It's not
You could, but if I tell you, then I'll be glorifying. Somebody will see it. Like you can do it. It's just like I wouldn't do it.
right.
Wait. Do you feel like, and I'm not trying to glorify, you feel you just fuck it?
I was basically like, I was just, it was a peer pressure thing.
Yeah, he was
And
really kid.
when I went in, like I said, the twos with him, I was just quiet and, let him and Larry do all the talking. I just followed right along. The two I did by myself, it was because of what the credit union was. It was the 5-minute oil change place next to it. So I stopped in there both times. I went in the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck?"
Wow.
I was like, "Fuck,
He was
we here
easy.
now."
He was easy influence, man.
Yeah.
Like he was a good kid, but he was one of them type of people where,
Yeah, they peer pressure me to it.
Yeah.
You naive, you green, you a nerd, you don't know about the street life. And I was like, well, fuck it.
I picked on him a little bit for being green.
Was it like you and your first one? You saw yourself and him
Nah.
for your first one that you were like,
Nah, he was. Hey, bro, he was square stick. He was goofball, bro. He just wasn't thinking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
that money. But you're breaking it down with him though.
But I was with the crowd, so I was like, I was a rider. I'm loyal.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I'm with you, I'm with you. So I was like, well, fuck it, we're gonna do it. Let's do it. Let's go.
Y'all split 3 ways, or is it a
Yeah,
different?
3.
We
All right, so evenly 3 ways.
Mhm.
Vernon, what you doing with your money?
What then?
Yeah, back then.
He was so goofy. If you don't mind me saying, he was so goofy about his money because he kept on making crazy bets. By the time we do a lick, he already owed me like $40,000.
You're laughing, but that's what really happened.
You in the red going
Yeah,
to
he
the
was in the red. He was in the red.
I
He was in the red.
was
So you owe that bank robber.
we shoot
He
dice.
didn't
and I
break my
I
damn
shoot
car.
dice,
So you making wild bets
Yeah,
that
and I go in
you
the
don't have
bank.
the money for yet.
we already know going until they hit the lick.
God, why don't you go to Vegas?
It's funny, though.
You making wild bets. Go play some
Yeah, he
blackjack.
wasn't
I'm
thinking.
very
And
book smart,
each
very book
bet,
smart, but
each bet, I guess it was like a for sure lick.
So
I
you
mean,
knew you was getting them on the bets.
And the other guy too. The other guy too.
he got. Now that I think about it, man, he got the rough end of the stick to the whole situation, bro.
So right when y'all break it up, y'all like, all right, so this mine, you pull yours back about
When
what
we count it, we count it all up. I'm like, now you owe me 20,000. Let me get that.
And the other
man.
guy, I owe him. So
You wrecked my car. Remember you wrecked my Spitfire convertible. You didn't wrecked it, and I said, when next lick you gonna pay me on my car. You know what I'm saying? It just was crazy.
So
We young, dog. That's why we young
so-
kids, man.
Vernon, with any profit, what did you spend your money on? If any
I
profit?
still bought like some clothes and
Some polos.
yeah.
Polos.
A car full of he
$40,000, and they bought clothes and polos. That even makes it even worse.
But I mean, if you think about it, even in the drug scene, that's what they bought too. Like none of them had the thought of let me invest, right? Nobody never told them how to invest or how to just like in other communities, they would buy like a piece of shop or the mechanic shop or but our people didn't tell them we didn't really have the dirty money like that where we knew how to clean it up and make businesses out of it. So even in the crack era or whatever, they bought frivolous stuff. So yeah.
And you know what's so crazy is the Black Panther guy said, "Oh, okay, do this crime," but didn't even tell him what to do with the money.
Right.
What the hell kind of Black Panther? Oh yeah, you need instead of you selling drugs, go and rob banks, but don't tell you, then take the money and do this.
Mhm.
Then take the money and do that. Don't buy clothes, go do so. It was a flaw in the grooming.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're grooming a person to do something, but then you're not going to give them some adequate direction on when once you get this money. You understand what I'm saying?
Or buy art. You know, a lot of them. People don't wonder why a lot of art is so expensive.
Some
So that's
gold
another
nuggets.
way.
Some
Right.
gold nuggets.
Mhm.
Something. Let's go some more.
Drinking,
They different.
weed, girls,
Yeah, but say, what were your vices? What were your vices?
girls,
Okay, yeah.
girls,
Yeah.
girls. I give a girl $100 just to come spend the night with me. Just
See, you're talking when you say that in 2024, it sounds different. Well, back then, I feel, I hear you.
I had a pay. I didn't know what a cell phone was in '94.
Did you? Were you staying by yourself? Were you
I
living?
live with my co-defendant.
Okay, all right. So y'all roommate. Okay, bad. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna go into the second part because you actually get busted. Vernon, real quick before we have you, why y'all are here? Because I want y'all to speak on this. What do you feel like he was doing wrong in these bank robberies, if anything, about
What you mean doing wrong?
doing wrong? If you could grade him on his skills of,
I wasn't good enough in that. Yeah, I wasn't good enough to. Oh yeah, you did this wrong. No. I was the one being told, "Hey, do this, do that," and I was like, "All right, okay, let's."
So all right, so Bobby, Vernon, what if you could like go back and coach him again? We're not condoning, but if you go back and coach him, what was he possibly doing wrong? What could he have did better?
He wasn't a thinker. You know, Noble Drew Ali said, if I get my people to think, they can free themselves. He just wasn't a thinker. And one of the banks, he jumped over the counter.
Don't say sprained his ankle.
No, he jumped over the counter and his whole hand was fingerprint. He was manipulated. He was manipulated, bro. He wasn't really an active. He was an active participant, but he was manipulated. It's hard for me to explain it. What was that?
I didn't grow up until I went to prison.
Yeah. What was that?
I didn't.
You just having? Was it? Were you having fun, or were you just like, man?
Just
Day to day.
Day to day.
Yeah, we would go like
Once I found out about what he did, I became very nervous.
Mm.
So I was at that point just because I knew.
Was it an intimidation level as far as him speaking to you, like, "Hey, we're gonna go do this," or else?
that intimidation?
Okay.
Because I had him, I had the other guy, I had the other guy's uncles and best friends. I was like the only one in that circle that didn't know anything about streets, gangs, drugs, none of that. So I didn't know who to talk to or how to get advice. Whatever they said, it just went.
Where you from, Vernon? If you don't mind.
Freeport.
All right, so everybody's from Freeport. Suburban. Oh, we're gonna get to your story. We're gonna get into your story because your story itself is, you know, again, y'all met at this time, and then did y'all left each other, or did
I moved to Atlanta? They kept robbing.
Okay.
Until they got caught. When they got caught, they debriefed. ATF come kick my door in up in Atlanta, and extradite me back down here to go to trial for all the banks. All the they did, they was gonna put me in a conspiracy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so all the stuff.
Because when me and the other guy got arrested, originally it was just me and him, one bank, one gun, conspiracy, and transportation interstate commerce, which is taking stolen things across state lines. But when he finished telling, they added him, 2 more banks, and 2 more guns. So it went from me and him indictment with 4 counts to 3 people on the indictment with 8 counts.
Then we end up with 19 counts of conspiracy, aiding in the bed, and guns. We had enough counts to give us 100 years individual. I mean, each.
So that's why you want to let everybody know where you was, because how did your name even come up? You done moved away.
I done moved. I done left. I moved to change my life. I went at this point, you know, but they extradited me, came back down here. I'm like, I'm charged with banks that I didn't even do. Like, because it was they was doing licks that I wasn't with them. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, we end up having a huge trial here in Dallas. And
just to give you a time frame, my trial was going on. Actually, the jury got the instructions to deliberate the same day that Oklahoma bombing was blew up. When Timothy McVeigh did that thing in Oklahoma, that's when I was at trial. The jury was going out to deliberate that day. So that gives you some time frame as to when all this was going on.
And let me ask you, you kept it solid. You did not have a plan to tell on
Nope.
Baba at all.
I wouldn't even my originally when everything first started taking place, the prosecutor wanted to talk to him. He talked to my mom. My mom talked to me, baby. They gonna work a deal with you. All you gotta do is tell them what they want to know. Me being the loyal person I am, and no, I can't do that. So they went to the other guy. He told, and then there you go.
They arrested me. So by the time they arrested me, I gotta go to trial because they trying to give me 100 years.
Oh yeah. So during trial, I wasn't gonna testify. Period.
Mm-hmm.
He in the cell with me in the holding cell. He's like, hey, look, dude, check this out. I need you to do this. I'll look out for you. Blame it on these two people. They dead. They in the ground 6 feet deep. They got killed in the drive-by. Cool. Hey, look. Now when at trial, the prosecutor was like, now, Mr. Miller, was Eric Rutherford involved in this? No, sir, he was not. Well, who was there? Tyrone and Johnny or whatever. I can't remember their names now, but whoever they was. So he was like, wait a minute, wait, what? But Larry said, and it was like, no, Eric had nothing to do with this.
He actually freed me. As nerdy as he was, as much as we picked on him, he was stand up dude, bro.
So wait, he kept it solid.
No,
The Larry said, and you beat him out of all that money.
yeah,
like I said, I'm
We can't hear you, DJ.
I'm sorry. So this is the crazy part. One second. This is the crazy part. So he didn't snitch on him, but the driver did. The driver snitched, and he wasn't even the one doing the bank robbery. He just was being the driver, and he was really the one that influenced Vern to do the work, right? So should I skip? Should you want to hear the rest of this, or should I skip into what happened to Vern? Put a one in the chat.
I think you should let it run. How
Okay.
long is the video?
It's about maybe like 10 more minutes left.
Then let it roll.
Okay, so that's what happened. So let's keep.
a lawyer dude.
he
And,
said,
and some of it was really some of it was fear too. Because I remember I just told you I was still scared of the dude. Yeah, I was still scared of the dude.
well, they put him in the tank with me. We both had our suits. Well, I had my suit on.
They both had
We're going to
suits.
trial, and I'm like, bro, you motherfuckers kept fucking robbing banks, bro. I'm in Atlanta. You asked me about a damn Lexus. Now I heard you got a new Lexus, man. You feel me? That's how I was. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fucked up. You think I'm saying? And the thing,
That's what he said. Basically what he said.
you know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna put my hands on him because I'm going to trial. That's gonna be guilty. Like, you know, whip the witness. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dude, come on, bro. You know, let me make it.
I was like, all right,
And he switched the script. He's man, I'm watching the stuff with Young Thug, and he did just like Woody to do what he doing right now. He switched it up.
Yeah, YSL Woody. Yeah.
You know, he's
how you supposed to do.
yeah. He switched
I
it up.
can't comprehend. I can't read.
Yeah.
I can't relate. So all right, real quick. And Bernie, as I'm gonna have you come out, but before I have you come out, when it comes to the 9 months that were y'all in cahoots for 9 months? You said
No, really, all in all, with him, it was maybe 4 months.
okay. For what you did learn, as far as even outside of what happened, do you regret yourself as far as ever meeting this man right here?
I would say yeah.
Well, that's a twofold question,
Yeah.
and I say that because my answer is, I don't think that all of that was by happenstance, because I think however all that played out, I went to prison. I don't think that I would be the man I am today without all of that experience.
Going through what he went through.
As rough as it was, or as terrible as it was, or as up and down as it was, I don't think that I would be the mature man I am today had I not went through any of that.
That's some real.
So I don't glorify it, but I also don't run from it, because that was my past. I did that.
Definitely.
You know, I can't say I actually, it was a mistake that I went and robbed a bank. No, I did that because a mistake would mean the gun accidentally got in my hand. I went in, I
made a
did
choice.
Yeah, I consciously went and did that. The mistake was trusting the people that I did at that particular time.
Well, with that being said, the fact that you said you weren't in it for money, I can't wait to get your story. We're gonna get it,
Okay.
but I'll have you hop on out.
All right.
Have you hop on out. With that being said, Bobby, let me ask you. You got to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't continue. Did you continue Robin Banks in Atlanta?
When I beat the case, when he freed me,
yeah,
I got my freedom back, and I started back robbing banks.
So you beat the case. You beat the feds.
Beat the feds.
People don't beat the feds.
Beat the feds.
Because they got a
98 conviction rate. Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand that. I did not know the difference between Fed and any other case. I didn't really get that until, I eventually getting caught and learning, people don't beat Fed cases. They don't beat Fed cases. Not like talking about it. I know a few people in Shreveport that beat the Feds. I probably know 2 crews. One crew might have beat the Feds by technicality. But so I'm out in Atlanta. Man. I just Million Man March. I was getting ready to go to Million Man March, hit the bank.
Oh, God damn.
So wait, did you have to rob banks?
Hold on,
No, not at all.
DJ.
That's the craziest thing. That's another part. I told you I come from the suburbs.
Guys.
My mom's
Don't forget, guys. Pinky, I need you to contact me. Don't forget, guys, if it's going too fast, he explains it more in DJ's video. So a lot of parts he's jumping through or whatever because they have 2 people. As far as him beating the case and going back, he tells the story more in depth. So please, when you get a chance, go on DJ's video, and you'll get the full story more in depth because it's really a good story. But we got to get to something else on here, and on here. But if you want to, I just want to stop it because I noticed that he's kind of skipping, so you guys don't know how good this story really is, right? And I think that they seem a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
So you'll get more cool, calm of him, right? So, but we want to put some more awareness on what happens in jail. Again, that's in the first video. But again, this is something else that goes on in jail, and this is the real purpose of this video. So go ahead, D. Just want to say that because I noticed people probably hear him, skipping stuff and maybe hear them laughing and stuff like that. But when he did your interview, he was like more serious and more detailed. But again, it's 2 people here, so they have to speed it up. On your video, it's just him. So just don't forget to go check it out. But go ahead, DJ.
Got to use the bathroom, and once we started using the bathroom, we just came up behind me and just grabbed me and put me on the bed.
Real life.
Because we were just kind of like
enact the whole thing. But as far as you want to take it, the day of this happening,
the first time,
what can you walk us through as far as what happened? Like, how did you not see it coming? If you don't mind me asking.
Because we were just kind of like.
What? Okay, so
I know the question. Because again, I had already been hanging out with him most of the day in, day out. Sitting in the cell, talking, rapping. I think we had started drinking a little bit because they had hooch.
The hooch.
So,
Yeah, hooch, yeah.
Yeah, so we got to drink a little bit, had a little hooch. In his cell, because he had a cell by himself, got to use the bathroom. And once we started using the bathroom, we just came up behind me and just grabbed me and put me on the bed. And
so let me ask. Yeah, because he's like you say, he was a country bunker type dude. Are you physically trying to fight this out? Because again, from you're 21 years old, you're 150.
About as much as I could, be honest with you. It ain't like I just say, oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and do it. No, I tussled a little bit about as much as I could, but again, because how he caught me off guard, coming behind me, and he was a bigger guy, just.
So mind you, and this is all hindsight now, he'd been plotting this, or at least just let's say he didn't plot it, but he'd been testing you and then he got you to this point. Do you feel at the moment that, like, what do you feel was going through his head? Like, oh, I've been waiting to do this, or this is just in the moment. This is just what it is, man. Like, do you go through? Because mind you, we're gonna get to it, but you were probably trying to get commission to do some harm back to this man. But do you feel like he was like, this man? I let. Do you feel guilt? Be like, man, I led this dude into this situation to make this happen. Do you feel like any of that was your fault, or you feel like, man, he just really took advantage, and I need to do some harm to this man?
I felt like he took advantage all the way up until I need to do some harm, because after everything was over with, I just kind of wanted to everything just be over with. Then I was hoping he didn't tell nobody. I was hoping nothing ever came out of it. I just stopped hanging around him, but I don't really know how everybody started finding out, but I think the only other way was he could have said, oh yeah, I fucked him. And it was always, how you say, my story against his story. So because it was my story against his story, the only way everybody felt like it was able to be settled was got to do something to him. So it was either you do something to him or we do something to you. And
after this happened, like, what was going through your mind? Were you hurt? Were you like, did you think like, can you just kind of walk us through like what goes through a man's mind when something like this happens?
Yeah, my asshole was hurt.
Normally people get put in, what's it called? The infirmary? Did you seek to go?
Yeah, I didn't tell nobody. I really, okay, I know you all have heard plenty of stories about women out here that get raped.
Right.
And how after it happens, even if they know the person, it's somebody that they've known for a long time, they still don't want nobody to know. They still don't want it to, they just want it to be an isolated incident. And that's kind of what I was going to do. Right. It happened, it was over with, and I was just like, man, I like I said, I just stopped hanging out with the dude. I stopped going around him, stayed in my unit. I would still come out and watch TV and whatnot, but I would not go nowhere where he was. And
did he try you again? Did he ever try to make you?
I've never talked. Well, he was sending word through other people that we knew, like from New Orleans, that was in my unit. Hey, at that point it was Lil Red. Hey, tell Lil Red to come on over here and talk to me. And
so I have to ask, how long did it take you to, one, physically recover, two, mentally recover in regards to just getting back to normal?
Physically, probably, I don't know. I don't even know the time frame, but mentally, I think mentally deep down, I still have maybe some issues.
Exactly.
Because even at one point, once I got to North Carolina, I started going to therapy. I started seeing a therapist, and for 10 years, I was in and out of therapy. And most of that was because of that, and to just learn about me in general, about my childhood, about me, why I was the way I was, and then how to continue to survive in prison from that point.
Like Baba Shaka was saying, technically, once word gets around that this happened, there should have been some type of form of either retaliation. Again, you already kept it solid. Like there should have been somebody in your corner.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Either they came to me. I saying they because it was Louisiana people and California people, because I was hanging around a lot of Crips too, and so it was like a collective. They was like, hey, if you're going to continue to hang around us and be with us, then you got to do something. Either if you don't do something, then we do something to you, because we can't have that, basically that blemish on our car, on our car, so to speak. Yeah. And so they felt like if I didn't do something, they do something to me. So
They put a blade in your hand. They put a knife in your hand.
yep, it was an ice pick.
An ice pick. Who? And you don't gotta say no names, but as far as who within the group gave you that ice pick, was it somebody that's respected or just somebody that just
Somebody that I guess they felt that I respected them because that was somebody I was talking to on a daily basis.
I see.
Because it was somebody more around my age.
I ain't gonna lie, for them to even get you the ice pick, that means they're serious about it. But what was it for you that made you not go through with?
I ain't got the heart for that.
Pause it for
And
one
this is
second.
about how that ice pick getting put in your hand, about
Pause it.
how many days or weeks.
See, this again, this is the awareness, and as you can see, this man is still messed up. You can hear even when he's talking with the other guy. It's a shame that people take advantage of. He might be from his childhood. It sounds like he likes wanted to be accepted. Remember, he said he made bad bets, so majority of the money that he made, he had to give half of that up. So he wasn't even really making money. He just wanted to be down, right? That's what
Accepted.
today.
He
Down,
wanted to be accepted.
So again, that's a major problem we have with not even just kids, with people, but from whatever happened in his childhood, and they sensed it. That's why I said people have to be very, very careful, because people can smell you out, and now you become prey, right? So throughout everything, he has always been prey, right? That's why even the guy said we took advantage of him, right? He was surely taken advantage of, because they knew, like they said, he wasn't thinking straight. They didn't have no right even taking him with him, to be honest, right? They should not even, they should have been like, nah, go on home, right? Because at any point in time, they end up messing it up for him. But now, far as him, he's still trying to downplay this. I'm glad that he's even telling his story. So let's give him, some respect for that, because and they wanted him to ill somebody. So, and the other part was he wouldn't be the man that he is today without going to jail. I think that is false, right? That is really false. But you have to stand on it now. But believe me, that is, you don't need to go through that to tell himself you are. Exactly.
He gotta tell himself something to like say that that is, because he knows damn well that he would not be. He could have been an even better man. If thing wouldn't have happened. Exactly. And it's really sad that people made him feel a certain type of way, where he felt like he had to prove himself to the point where he incriminated himself in such a really messed up way. And then that caused this incident to happen. And then even more victimized in prison, to the point where people are putting stuff in his hand like, oh no, you're now don't just okay, not just only be a bank robber. So you groom to be a bank robber. Now let's just be a murderer all together.
Now, but don't forget the bait comes before that, right? So not only is he groomed to be a bank robber, then he get violated, right? Then he get violated, right? And he's trying not to show his true emotions, which I don't blame him. He's a man. He's, just my butthole. Key. No, his whole soul went. His whole entire soul left him. And the still picture that you have right now of him, you could tell his soul is still gone, right? He's been abused on every single type of level that you could think on, from like even him placing bets. Like, you placing bets, I don't know what happened, but it sounded like you placed bets with him because you was gonna win them bets, right? So I'm gonna get me some extra money because I'm gonna bet with him. So he, you know, all the whole time he doesn't know, and he doesn't know any better. But you can say something to that and let it play. I just wanted to say that part right there, because you know we do promote awareness here.
I feel sorry this guy was victimized from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, shouts out to Shaka for actually admitting. Now if you read the comments, they'll say, well, he never apologized. Well, he might not have apologized online, but I'm sure he apologized in person about the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? And I think
he did too.
This is him trying to find some redemption
Mm-hmm.
in the fact that this guy took the rap. He took the rap. You know what I'm saying? He didn't snitch on him. He could have told everything, but he was the one who told me how to do it, and then he would have went off scot-free, but he didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And he got victimized in the process.
And let's not forget that Shaka knew the man was scared of him because of the fact that he took out. Remember, he went to jail the first time for taking out his friend. So he probably figured, if you took out your friend, imagine what you'll do to me. Right?
Well, not only that, but there was times when Shaka have actually punched him, and you know, was doing like little stuff, punching him and stuff. So it wasn't just a mental, but it was also physical, like kind of things that was happening that kind of made him feel afraid and made him go along with things.
Yeah, but the mental will be worse, because physical, he could still sit there and tell the story. Mentally, he might figuring, I might not make it, right? He took out his friend. So he, in his mind, even if he never put his hands on him, he's figuring, damn, he took out his friend, right? This man don't have a conscience. Like, you don't know, remember, he's not thinking straight. So he's just scared. Oh, he just beyond scared. He's really scared of this man.
Almost like a bullet. It's almost like kind of bullied into it.
Right.
I mean, Larry and Shaka, they kind of both had like certain levels of bullying for him because he was too kind of a person. And that's one lesson about being too kind as well. Is that if you don't stand your ground, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. You know? Let's go.
Weeks or months after that this situation happened.
About a month.
So in a month, it wasn't in your heart to like put again, because we were talking, the people that listen to this are just normal people that live a 9 to 5 or probably, you know, haven't lived that kind of life yet. To take a blade and say, let me a month later, not saying for no reason, but let me build it up in my heart to go either try to end this man, because you got to end this man. You can't just stab him and intend to let me scratch his leg.
Yeah, because in instances like that, it's gonna be a to death situation.
Yeah,
because the only way you survive something like that is if once it starts, the police are kind of like right there to break it up.
Yeah.
But other than that, if it's done off in the corner somewhere and the police can't get there, one of y'all gonna die. One of us would have, and it'd probably been me because I was the smaller one.
Was there any ounce in you that wanted to go through with taking this man's life? Like, was anything in you, like a percentage that said,
yeah, I wanted something to happen to him, but me doing it, I was too scared to do it.
All right.
So
now here's the question.
Like PC up, did you say, hey, I want a protective custody?
Let me say this. So initially in this interview, when they say he got raped, he says, what, the first time or the second time? So I'm wondering, and I'm not sure if they actually like bring this out, but I'm wondering if once he didn't go along with the killing of that guy, if they raped him after that. Because he said the first time or the you know what I'm saying? And he kind of like even when we just did the live where he answered them some questions, because this whole interview has gone viral. It's right now it's at like about how many thousands is that? It's at no, that's that one, but the original video is almost at like 60 or 70,000. So I'm wondering, because he did do an interview just now answering questions, and then he said he only been raped once. But in this, he says the first time or the second time. So it must have been multiple times. And I think that both of them were from strong arming, all that stuff. And I'm sure he's trying to, still keep his manhood even while he's out. Not he didn't even realize what this platform was. I don't think he knew how big Real Life Street Stars was. I'm not sure if Eric told him that this is a huge platform that's going to reach millions of people. But I think that right now, I don't know. We'll see.
Because I'm being harmed and no one's protecting me. Did you tell anybody? Did you tell the guards?
Yeah. Before I got stabbed, I checked myself in. I was in the shoe for 2 months. And in that 2 month span, I had gotten a couple of notes from people that I know on the yard. They was like, hey, everything is good. We done squashed everything. Everything is good. You can come out. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you. It's like, all right. So I started telling the police, hey, I want to go back to the yard. I want to go back to the yard. And of course, it don't just happen overnight. But after a couple of days, couple of weeks, they was like, all right, you can go. And what was, it was snow on the ground because this was in Colorado. It was snow on the ground, and we didn't get a chance to walk through the yard itself. We walked through what they call the tunnel because because of how Colorado was, and it was in the mountain. They had to have tunnels built. So if there was ever any inclement weather, even like fog, anything, the yard would have to get shut down. We could still operate. We could still go to work. We could still go to lunch, because some prisons I've been to, if there's fog, the whole prison shuts down until the fog clear. And sometimes that won't be until 11, 12 o'clock daytime. But by then you'd miss a half a day of whatever. But anyway, at Colorado, when they let me out the shoe that day, they sent me through the tunnel. And when I get to the unit, it was like, one guy, he was like, what are you doing back here? I was like, well, I got a couple of notes that said it was all right for me to come back out. He was like, no, bro. No, cuz you got to go back up. You got to go back up. I was like, hold on. It was like, no, you let that shit happen to you. You can't be out here with us. You can't let that shit. He said, hold on, I'll be right back. And I'm standing in the cell talking to somebody. And next thing I know, he comes back in. He has gloves on his hands. So I was like, oh shit, this ain't finna go right. And before I knew it, he out his pocket, and he started swinging, and I fought back, but it still wasn't enough to dodge the getting hit. And then I ended up getting out of the cell, and the police came, and I had a knot on my head, and that's kind of how I got caught from that, and then I went back in the shoe.
How long did you stay in there?
The second time after I got stabbed, 7 months until I got transferred to another prison.
Where did you get stabbed?
I got hit in my arm and in my chest and in my back.
The sensation of being stabbed, was it an ice pick, or do you even know what it was that hit you?
I assume it was, I say ice pick, but
that sensation, did you know what happened as it happened?
You know, just the adrenaline of it all didn't register until after I got to the lieutenant office, and they was like, were you fighting? I was like, no. It was like, yeah, you are, because you got a bruise on your forehead. I was like, no, I wasn't. It's like, hold on, take your shirt off. And when I took my shirt off, that's when I seen I had been cut in my arm. But the police standing behind me was like, yeah, you got a cut on your back. And the police was like, it's like, damn, all right.
Damn. And at this time, you're still 21?
Nah, by Florence, I was 22, 23.
So did the administration recognize?
Can anybody see that this guy was a gentle spirit before this happened to him?
Yes, you can see it now. Exactly. It's so crazy. I was just thinking the same thing. I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
Man, this is so sad to hear that this could happen to this young brother.
Yeah.
that you couldn't make it in that type of setting? So
Well, I was transferred from Florence because of that. And then once I went to Florence, the next penitentiary I went to was Allenwood, Pennsylvania. So now I went from Kansas to Colorado to Pennsylvania. I did some good time at Pennsylvania until my past started to catch up with me again. People from one prison came there and was like, hey, he got raped at this prison, then he got stabbed here. So it was like, no, dude, you can't be on this compound either. But it just so happened that the psychology department came through and started talking to me, and they found out that although my sentence made me have to be in a penitentiary, my adjustment to the penitentiary life wasn't all that great. So they put what they call a management variable on me. And the management variable, it's basically a waiver. They waived the criteria that prevented me from going to a medium, which was my time. But my points was very, very low. I had like 6 points. So because of that, they was like, well, we're going to waive your time and drop you down to a medium so we can send you to this prison. And that prison was in North Carolina. And man, that was I had never done, that was the best time that I did. The entire time I was in prison, 5 years in North Carolina.
mind you, if you pay attention, some of the hardcore rappers that's around, they don't get a chance to go to these places that we was at. They in Texarkana, they in Fort Worth, but they supposed to be riders and thugs. They'll come on, I've been to the pen. Nah.
Yeah, I laugh at that too, though. I'm like, did he went to what?
Yeah, once those who are in the system know what levels.
Yeah.
You got it easy over there.
It's like, he ain't no way. Ain't no way.
So,
Did you ever contemplate suicide or anything like that? Did that ever come to your mind?
Good question.
Yeah, I actually did a couple of times. I cut myself a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I actually tried to hang myself a couple of times. But every time I got in the process of doing it, I would like hanging. I hang there for a few seconds. I was like, this ain't gonna work. As far as cutting myself, once that process started, a cut is a cut. It's there. Ain't no. The only thing is just a matter of how deep you gonna cut.
Right.
But yeah, I cut myself a couple of times.
When you were in solitary confinement, like, what was that like for you?
What do you mean?
Like, how did you ever have to like hear anything, any voices?
No, because almost every time I was in solitary confinement, I had a cellmate.
Okay.
And they try to pair you with someone that they feel, like in my case, because they knew while I was being placed in solitary confinement, the rape, the stabbing. So they tried to always pair me with someone that was basically as soft as I was.
Right.
They feel like nobody, that the person that they put me in with wouldn't compound the problem
Right.
that I was having.
How was your cellie like the person?
Oh, once I got in solitary confinement, I always had good cellmates.
Okay.
Did
Did they have any of the same experiences? Why?
No, well, if they did, they didn't because again, being raped in prison is not something that you talk about.
And I want to ask that because we don't get this story often to where, you hear of these actions that happen, but we don't ever hear these stories as you're, courageously enough coming to tell this story. And I, of course, if I ask why is that, we know why. But with that being said, did you ever hear of anyone else that had this altercation or that,
that got
was
raped?
violated, that was raped in prison? And what's the status of them? Because you do hear stories where that may happen, then all of a sudden they become, I think, punks, or they become the wife of a cell. You're like, damn, it happened. We see movies to where that now he belongs to him. Did you see that in regards to any of the time, any of the prisons, to where you see someone come in normal, something may have happened that's innuendo you don't know of, and then you see that person belonging to that
Well, again, it goes back to that 3 sides to every story. Because this person may say, oh, he took advantage of me, he raped me. That person would never, hey, I didn't do that. I didn't. So it's kind of like you have to, you hear it and you don't hear it unless something more becomes of it. Did anybody ever get locked up in shoe? Or, no, I never knew of anybody getting locked up. Now, that was always...
See, what it sounds like to me is that there is a hush-hush thing about getting raped in the prison system, and people would never like admit to it because there's a stigma put on your back once it happens. And if it happens once, then everywhere you go, they'll keep trying to do it again and again. So you don't want to tell nobody that has happened to you. On top of that, this is the feds. This is not the state penitentiary. This is the feds. So there's a little bit more, like, I would say, what's the word? The feds have a little bit more like structures in place to deal with stuff like that, to where they'll put you into counseling. They'll do more for you. But the state, if this happened to him in the state, he would be someone's BITCH. Just
Right.
It would not be. It would not have ended up the same. The fact that he was in the feds allowed him to make it.
Rumors, hey, these two people went to the hole because he said he raped him, but after the investigation was over with, they both come back out. So now you left wondering, and did it really happen, or what was the situation? So it's kind of like you never really know, because unless you know either one of those individuals and you knew where they was coming from, you never really knew if it was true or not. You always just had to go with what you felt in your gut. So I never really knew anybody that came in and they didn't want it to happen and it happened. I never knew anybody like that.
What are your thoughts now on, there was a story about somebody, it's on Instagram somewhere, there was an argument to where the sexuality in prison, to where some people who do want to have sexual partners of the same sex in prison, that some prisons offer condoms to inmates and some don't. Is that true or not? I don't know.
I haven't heard that.
Bobby, you ever heard anything like that? Okay, so
now, I do know, like, the homosexuals, right as I was on my way out at like the last 10 years or so, the homosexuals had started to file a class action lawsuit against the BOP, which is the Bureau of Prisons, to get their hormone injections, hormone pills, to get bras sold to them, to get panties sold to them. Yeah. But as far as the other stuff, I never heard.
Now, you were sentenced to 39 years. You did 25, and COVID came in, and you've been released since then. But it wasn't easy to get released. It wasn't by chance.
No.
You had to have, I'm assuming, some friends or something in some high places. Or how did you get out?
Well, I'm gonna say around somewhere between 2018 and 2019, I started to research. Well, Trump was in office, and they had started to pass these different little laws. Good behavior laws, good this, good that. So I started to, pay attention to that. So I reached out, and I remember when I first got arrested and I first going through all of this, my mom kept telling me, hey, the prosecutor wants to help you. He wants to help you. But so I was like, no. Fast forward, I'm thinking, well, since the prosecutor wanted to help me then, why wouldn't he want to help me now? I'm not any more bad off now than I was back then, although now I'm probably even better. When I was in North Carolina for those 5 years, I was in college. I enrolled in college courses because there they actually had professors from the college down the street coming to the prison. So I was working on getting my associate's degree in business. So I'd already groomed myself to be better coming out than I went in. So once I presented all of this to my former prosecutor, because he wasn't even a prosecutor no more for the government, and I presented him with everything, and he said, well, get some letters from different people at the prison, like some of the guards, some of the administrators. So I started talking to them about it. They started writing letters, and I presented it to him, and he went to the prosecutor, hey, because he still had some pull. Hey, I got this guy, I prosecuted him 25 years ago. I need you to help me get him released. And just at that point, COVID started to hit, so they started to try to get people out because they was looking for space to create. So everything just kind of all clicked at the same time, and I got out.
Do you think your prosecutor, did he find out about the rape? Or did you tell him?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe I did.
So even now, and again, we're going to be jumping around just this last part, but you're free. Are you married with children?
No, the only son that I knew of that I had died 2 years ago from fentanyl overdose.
Condolences, man.
But no, I'm not married. It's just not ain't right. Just life right now. I'm lifing.
Is Robin Banks out of your system? We just asked that in the last interview with Baba Shaka. We're like,
right? You joking?
we just asked that. We're like, do you still see cracks in the system as you go to your bank right now? Do you see cracks in their system, knowing what you know? And again, we're not condoning any kind of bank. We're not condoning nothing bad. I'm just saying, from an intellectual level, do you see cracks still?
You know what? All bullshit aside, in all honesty, I've went to a couple of banks because I'm actually doing business.
Yeah, you're a patron. Yeah,
I got checking account, savings account. Yes, that part of me still looks around and like, man, this would be this would be that. Or as I'm driving by a bank, I'm like, well, damn, this would happen, this could happen, but no, nothing beyond.
Because you look at things like you think things like Frank Lucas, he got out the game and he started helping the government catch the drug dealers or whatever, or the bad cops, let's just say. Like where even Catch Me If You Can, they start catching people with fraudulent checks. Would you ever help the government catch bank robbers? Like, hey, here's this bank is easily gonna get hit. This bank is very lickable. Would you do that? Yeah.
My honest answer would be, I would have to answer that in the moment.
Okay, yeah. See, present the question. You'll get an answer.
I don't know. It's sometimes it's difficult for me to answer questions in scenarios, like hypotheticals, because not in a hypothetical, not everything is detailed.
Right.
So therefore, it's hard for me to say what if. I don't know what if.
Do you have PTSD from, let's say even men being behind you, just talking to you like, hey, you gotta talk to me in my face. Talk to me in my eyes.
I still have some issues with some things, like sitting in restaurants or sitting in open areas. I don't particularly always sit with my back to the door. I sit where I can see everything that's going on. Even in the restaurants, I like to at least sit where I can see the majority of where I'm at, just so I can see what's going on.
If there's any advice you could give to, again, there's kids that's going in there now, 18, 19, getting put into max security penitentiary systems. What advice would you give them when it comes to the signs that maybe you missed to say, look out for this, because somebody will they'll look at something about you and prey on that. What advice would you give them?
That is a very hard question.
Ooh, I know.
That is a very hard question because, again, people are different. what I tell you may only work for you. It may not work for you, and you. See what I'm saying? Because everybody goes into prison differently. So it's hard to just answer that question.
So if you could talk to, you could say something to the man who did do this to you, what would you tell him? What would you say to him?
I mean, you knew that I was naive to this. You know, you knew, because we had talked ad nauseum as to my background. And again, anybody that's from the streets can talk to me in 5 minutes and already be able to tell, oh, you don't know nothing about this.
Right.
Then, now I'm still kind of green, but not as much as I was back then.
Right.
Because now I've been around people from all the federal system. They like people from all around the world, literally. Russia, China, you got all types of people in the federal system. So I had a chance to talk to different people from different walks of life. And that just kind of, how you say, made me open up my eyes to different things. And I would just tell him, that was wrong. Like he said, you should have been schooling me rather than trying to figure out how to take advantage of me.
Right.
Especially if you from my area and you calling me a homeboy. I'm supposed to be somebody you're supposed to be trying to look out for to protect me from the other wolves out there. But instead, you the one that laid there and was a sheep in wolf's clothing.
So do you think that was going towards Eric or just Larry?
I think is going towards everybody, and I don't know, how would you even like answer that question? Like, how do you answer that question? Like, what would you say to the person, right? I mean,
when the person's sitting in the same room as you,
right? And so
he's very brave. Very brave, and he was saying what he had to say. Because they drove up. I think they drove up here together. So whatever he had to say, it is what it is. And you know what? Eric had to take that L like on the hip, like, bro, you was wrong.
Right.
A wolf in sheep's clothing.
But
so,
but see, with him, I think they both been traumatized, right? Just in two different ways. Because remember, you cannot take away. He was like, how old was he? Still a teenager, correct? When he went to jail the first time, and I don't know if he said was accidentally or not when it came down. So look at all the things that he's seen. So he developed a tougher interior because he was already in jail. And remember, from all the things that he have seen. So of course, I told you, they know how to smell you out. And if you pray, now you become prey, right? And then he's up in there, and then he's learning how to rob the banks. He's learning all the wrong things while he's in jail, and he's still impressionable himself. We forgot he was impressionable too when he went to jail. So now, after he comes out, now he got a more tougher exterior. Of course, he had to, learn how to fight or get some balls, and his mindset is now different. So now he becomes a person who knows to smell the prey and see who's going to be the sucker, So I think that will sort of kind of go for the both of them, because we can't forget that he was traumatized too. And he wasn't baked, but he still heard some things when he was young, and in that hole and all of that. So now it's like it's his turn now, right? I still want to rob the bank, but he learned that from the who he learned that from again?
Baba Shaka.
Yeah, what was the group of people? that was telling him.
No,
hey,
it was just the Black Panthers, the Black Panthers.
God damn, the Black Panthers the one. Hey, Mr. Robert Pate. So he was also a person that was groomed too,
Right.
right? So now it's his turn to groom. To
groom
this, right? So this is the vicious cycle that we're in, the very vicious cycle. Because when he took his friend out, people have to learn how to adjust their tempers, their feelings, and their emotions. Right? Some people have that bad temper, and then they don't think, they just react. Right? And that landed him. It's like a lot of times, even if that could be really mad, a lot of people is in jail because they had that temper. And sometimes when you hit somebody or you push somebody, you never know what's going to happen. It may be at the end of a table and they may be gone, or you probably didn't know how to shoot. And then next thing you know, sometimes that could be a little 25. You may think it's a small pow, but sometimes that bullet travels and it hits.
That's what happened. It traveled when he ran. It traveled.
Right. But again, so it's a lot of trauma going. I feel even worse for him because now he's the prey and they smelled him out and he had so much damage that was done to him. Not the money, remember, he didn't listen to his mother, right? Because he wanted to be accepted. But we don't even know the childhood. And then I don't know if they get into it or not, but now we don't know if he now became a predator looking for prey, far as, because what normal relationship can he have, right? What normal? So is it a thing? I don't know if they ask him, do he have nightmares? I don't know if they ask him, do he wake up sweating? Do he know how to treat women, or is he still got that kind soul where he can't hurt nobody, right? So I don't know if they ask him them things, but the same rule will apply for him too.
Good point. So, I want to lighten the mood, and I want to show this story from Ali Sadiq, who is a well-known comedian, and it's still a prison story, but this is from a prison guard that violated him, and I wanted to give a different idea of, because I don't want to end it on a sad note, because really he's triumphant. He works at a car dealership. He's doing okay. He's doing the best he can at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So I want to share this story because I thought it was an anecdotal story to give more context of things that go on in the prison system. And here we go.
At the times, I've settled into the prison now, been there for a while. But in prison, you have things that you're very particular about. Like I told myself, hey, no peeing standing up in this cell. You have to sit down and pee because of this. I pray on the floor. And so if you urinate, you splash urine all over the place, I'm gonna kill you. You start to develop certain type of phobias about things. I developed this phobia when I first got to this place called Diagnostics. It's basically safe. It's like a bunch of fences. You're in one fence. It's a space for 80 people, but they ram 200 people in the space, and you just trying to get your space. You don't want nobody behind you. You don't want nobody but in front of you. You just want to maintain your space. So that's the first little cage, and you have on clothes. So they move you to the second cage, and they tell you to take off all your clothes. Now you're naked with the same bunch of people smashed in. So now you're back trying to get your space. You don't want nobody behind you. You don't want nobody in front of you. Trying to get your space. Dude, we all naked. So dude come over and talk to me. Say, hey man, what's going on? What you in here for? Hey dude, get the fuck away from me. I'm naked and you in my space. So I'm not really comfortable being naked with a plethora of men. That's not where I'm at with my life. So moving forward, now I'm in prison. And I remember something my uncle told me. He said, if you never want to be naked in prison, you buy some shorts off commissary, and they can't make you take off the shorts because the shorts are not contraband. Cool. This was my first purchase. A lot of people purchase other things on commissary, soup and food. I bought a pair of white shorts, $7. Best purchase I ever made in prison. So I wear these shorts every day. Even if I wear my boxers, I wear the shorts on under my boxers. Because I already know anytime you can be strip searched. And I know the rules because I was a fire and safety clerk. See, let me tell you, fire and safety is power. I know everything about this prison. I work for Scarborough, which is a fire and safety man. I'm the fire and safety clerk. So I don't want nobody fucking with me. Stripping down, nothing. So most of the time, I'm a well-respected young guy in this prison. I've been here since I was 19. Now I'm 21, and I'm just gaining my stripes. Officers respect me because I'm respectable, and I'm so respectable that officers don't do this. When they call this thing they call chow time. That's what people run out on the door to go eat like fucking cattle. And the officers are like, oh, chow time. I said, hey, don't talk to me like that. I'm a civilized human being. And they turn around, Ali, excuse me, lunch for you. I'm like, thank you, sir. So I'm very civilized. So now I'm about to become uncivilized because it's an officer named Mitchell. It's always somebody, when a bunch of people like you, it's always somebody who doesn't like you and they trying to prove a point. So Mitchell sees me, and let me tell you who Mitchell looked like. Mitchell looked like the dude, what's the dude, Flanders on The Simpsons? Who's always like a pedophile to me, always. So I'm coming through for no random reason. Mitchell pulls me over in this area. I'm on building 8, this is where I stay at. And it's a high traffic area, the vestibule area. He stops me in the fucking vestibule area and say, hey, I think you have some contraband. I'm gonna shake you down. Like, yo, Mitchell, I just came from necessities. I don't have no contraband. Get the fuck out here. You know, and put your hands down while you're talking to me because you're supposed to stay 3 feet away from me because you know I'm the fucking fire safety clerk. So don't break the rules. So he say, well, I'm a strip search you. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not in this high traffic area. No, you're not, sir. So he calls the rest of these other officers around, some rookies that don't know me, and he's like, yo, we're gonna have to take off your clothes. So I took off all of they clothes, gave it to him. I got my shorts on, I'm standing there. He said, you're gonna have to take some shorts off. I say, that's not the rules, Mitchell. Not the rules. And now I'm getting a little heated about this because I know I have a problem with being naked in the fucking hallway, and I know that I have a problem with this. And I'm trying to get Mitchell to understand, Mitchell, this is not gonna be good. Mitchell. I'm trying to explain to Mitchell. So he gets all the rest of these officers around. The captain comes up and says, I can't go against my officer. He said, you got contraband. You're gonna have to get naked. I say, Captain, if I get naked in this hallway in front of all these people coming in and out, and I turn right to Mitchell and look at him in his eyes and say, this ain't gonna be good, Mitchell. Because I don't give a shit about going home at this point. I came here with 15 years, Mitchell. I want to do these little 15 years and go home. But if you make me get naked in this motherfucking festival area, so they got all these officers around me, and I didn't threaten this man with the easiest way I can threaten without getting sent to say it. I said, Mitchell, this ain't gonna be good, brother. So long story short, I end up naked. And I'm pissed. I'm naked and I'm bald headed, and he taking me through this bullshit. Run your fingers through your hair. Open your mouth. I've been talking this whole time. If something was in my mouth, Mitchell, it'd have been fell out. Open your mouth. Lift up your balls. Squat. Let me explain what he just did. I went to prison for a non-violent case, drug dealer. What he just turned me into was a violent young man at 21, because you made me cough and squat for no fucking reason other than that you wanted to see me in my mind. So now I got tears in my eyes, and people walking past, other prisoners walking past, and they looking at Mitchell like, Mitchell, this ain't gonna be good. So for 8 months, I've been planning on killing Mitchell. Like, I done wrote my mama this coded letter letting her know that her son ain't coming home no more. This is what I wrote the letter. I say, Mama, prison is like judicial slavery. I just figured this out. And I'm Nat Turner. You have to know about history. No, y'all will figure it out. And my mom writes me a letter back like, just chill. And she got a face with tears on the face. And I'm like, looking, I ain't even like, I don't give a fuck about my mama tears. What I care about is this. I was in a festival area with my balls lifted up, squatted, coughing, letting this child predator look at me. This is what I'm focused on. I'm killing Mitchell. I already put it in my mind. It's done. So I done told 2 people, Alameen, his name is Leslie Davis, and Mustafa. I don't know Mustafa's name because I was so terrified of Mustafa, I never wanted to ask him. So I told Mustafa. Mustafa's like, yeah, that was foul what Mitchell did. Mustafa been here for 27 years. If I kill somebody, I know he down. Alameen got 50 years. He ain't going nowhere. I plan on spending the rest of my life with Alameen and Mustafa. Because I'm going to kill Mitchell. I already know this. This dude, I'm coming from Eaton. This dude say, hey, Lee. I said, what's up, man? He said, you know, Mitchell is working the 4 gate. I said, what? Now, mind you, I've been in prison. I haven't been happy about nothing in a long time. The man told me that he was working 4 gate. I got fucking excited. Let me tell you what 4 gate is. 4 gate is the gate to close custody. I live on 8 building. You got to go to 4 building if you're going to close custody. When you come around the corner in 4 building, it's like you got to come past the cafeteria, and then it's the main building this way, and then it's this little side hallway, and you can't see anybody until you come around that corner. And Mitchell was at a gate around that corner, which is he's not gonna make it if I get to him. He's not gonna make it. And then it's that gate, and then it's the gate to 4 building. So it's a long way to get to him. Then it's another long way to get to that door. I got a plan. I'm gonna just run and just try to get through that gate and just stab Mitchell. But that's stupid. That's stupid. So I go back to my cell, and I'm trying to map out a plan on how I can kill this dude. And then I hear, get ready to go to 4 building. I look out my cell door. It's a dude that got in trouble. Now he's getting sent to 4 building. He has this big white bucket with all this shit in it. And I say, hey, you going to 4 building? He said, yeah. I say, let me carry your mattress for you. He said, cool, I need some help. I go up the stairs, get my knife, put my strap on me. Boom, I got a big ass mattress over my shoulder. So you can't see my face. He's rolling the bucket, mattress over me, come around the building, and I'm so fucking excited because I'm going to kill Mitchell. I'm gonna drink a sip of his blood because I fucking hated that. When they find me, I'm be like, yeah, Mitchell, oh my God, can't wait. Oh, I'm so violent. So got this knife, and I got this mattress, and this dude, he has no idea what's gonna happen. He's accessory to this crime, and he is so unaware. He rolled his bucket, talking about his family, man. My family ain't gonna get to visit me. I'm like, good, mine ain't either. So we coming around the building, we coming past Chow Hall, and I'm just getting more and more excited because this is gonna be a good one. Somebody apparently because Alameen looking for me, apparently. He said, yo, where Ali at? He said, Ali helped old boy move to 4 building. And Mustafa, because I get this all the backstory. And Mustafa say, yeah, you going to 4 building. And Leslie, Alameen say, hey man, I think Mitchell on 4 building. Mustafa say, Mitchell on 4 building? Man, let's go get this boy because he gonna kill Mitchell. Now it's complicated because they gotta get out of 8 building first. You gotta get out of 8 building. You gotta get buzzed out your pod, come out of 8 building. I'm thinking I'm good. I got enough time to commit this murder and hopefully get away with it after I sip his blood. So we coming around the corner. The dude has the bucket. He's going through. Mitchell opens the gate. And I'm like, yes. But he don't see me. He can't see me because I have the mattress over my shoulder. And as the bucket goes through the gate, the path is clear. All I got to do is wait for that bucket to get out the way. Then Mitchell will be standing at the edge of that gate. I can walk through my mattress and just start stabbing Mitchell uncontrollably. This is what I'm thinking. I got it playing out of my head. I'm dead serious. So I'm right there. And as soon as I get to where I can see Mitchell, Alameen and Mustafa come around the fucking hallway and say, Ali! And I turn and look, and Mitchell sees me and slams the gate and tell me to put the mattress down. He can take his own mattress. Put the mattress down. And I'm standing there looking at it. Say, hey, Mitchell. And he just said, put the mattress down. I slid the mattress off my shoulder. I say, you have a good day, Mitchell. And just the fucking terror in his eyes. And I know he's shown himself just a little bit. Was enough for me. And I just walked away real slow and didn't break eye contact until I got to Alameen.
I'm loving me.
I hate guns, personally.
Look in the mirror.
I can't stand it.
I'm not politically clean. Love what I see. Love who I am. I am invincible. I am a fan. My curves and my features, God makes no mistakes. I am successful. I am what it takes. I'm bulletproof. And I'm 100 proof. And I love who I see. Because 'cause I'm living my truth. I'm invincible, I'm incredible, a star in the making. I reach past the clouds. I'm invincible, I'm incredible, and no one can stop me now. I'm invincible.
Before we leave, I want to see if you have any last thoughts, Sugar Love.
I mean, I wish we can get an interview with him, but again, this is about awareness. You know, a lot of these young boys and girls have no idea what they're getting themselves into. They have no idea of how traumatizing. It's not a honorable badge that you guys gonna get, but you will get traumatized up in there and violated, and some of you guys might not even make it home, you know. So hopefully people will watch and these guys will know these things happen. These things happen.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o.
How come I show energy? Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. How come I show energy? My friend, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of the night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright from darkness to light.